I now recognize Ranking Member Keating for any questions that he may have.
Thank you very much. Dr. Karaskova, just if you could follow up, do you think that the recently elected European Commission, whether there'll be any change in this de-risking policy as a result of that newly elected commission?
I don't think so. I think that within the European Commission, especially with the President, there is still a great push towards de-risking strategy and towards making this happen. So there is a lot of announcement coming up from the new Commission, or at least the plan for de-risking is continuing. Very much depend on how the economies would react to that. So we have experienced a record high in inflation in a number of European countries. We have also experienced energy shocks. And we do have governments which are now composed of far-right parties, which have a very different positioning on China and also on Russia. And we have more elections coming, as I said, the Czech Republic, but also Germany next month, and France as well. And that could actually hamper the European Commission position on de-risking. So I do see tensions between where the European Commission is heading and would like to head, and where the European governments may actually want European Commission to go when it comes to China and Russia.
How much effect does the actions of Hungary, Serbia, Slovenia, how much does that create that tension too, not just the election of more people from the far-right parties?
There's a problem because there is a big pull of gravity when it comes to Serbia. Serbia is the biggest country and the most influential country in Western Balkans. And there is a number of countries surrounding that which have seen that Vučić can get away with his position on both Russia and China, and it actually pays dividends. So they can think that this could be a viable model for them. And the same happens with Hungary. And we do see this with the new Slovak government led by Prime Minister Fico, that he's also taking a lot of inspiration from Hungary. So we may see a slow domino effect if this is not stopped. But you're absolutely right. Hungary, Serbia, and most increasingly Slovakia as well could be outliers, which may try to tilt that balance.
And then accompanying this, of course, is disinformation campaigns as well. Could you tell us about the effect of this, Chinese disinformation campaign as they use that in conjunction with some of the elections that are there to the more far-right people, and how it can affect China and how they're using it to their advantage?
Initially, China was messaging to European countries the so-called, and I mentioned it already, positive energy, talking about Chinese culture, Chinese traditions, Chinese language, and so on. This changed in 2018, 2019, when China suddenly started to play by the Russian playbook. So suddenly started to sow distrust towards the governments, towards military, towards international organizations such as the NATO or the EU. So we do see Russia and China confluencing actually on this topic. And that started even before the war in Ukraine started. So we do see this convergence actually happening. China also started to be very blunt when it started to approach far-right and far-left movements. Originally, it started with the far-left, then it moved across the board, and now it's actually talking with all the parties in Europe. And these are not limited only to amplifying the narratives and messages by far-right, far-left, but also by financial support to those fringe political parties and movements. There was a case in Germany last couple of months back when an assistant of Maximilian Krah, one of the MEPs for Alternative für Deutschland, was actually caught red-handed as giving information to his Chinese handlers on secret information from the European Parliament. And this is just the tip of an iceberg. But as I said, the counterintelligence services, to my belief, are not paying enough attention to that because everybody is occupied with Russia.
Yeah, and then I mentioned in my opening remarks about the technology exchange in submarines and missiles with Russia and China as a result of Beijing's support for Russia. Time is running out, but has that caught the attention of European officials as well?
It did. Frankly speaking, there was already a recognition that the Chinese support to lend it to Russia is not only rhetorical or diplomatic or economic. That goes also towards the military area. And there was a suspicion already that it goes beyond the dual-use materials. So I don't think that it comes as a big shock.
Yeah, thank you all for coming, and I yield back.